Hello everyone and welcome back to Real LLD. Today I'm going to be doing a build overview of the Wasp 230 from OAS Hobbies out here in Orlando. I want to first start off with pretty much specs. Like I said, it is a 230 class, and for it to be a 230 class, it's pretty much competing with a lot of big name brand Lumineer QAVR, Lumineer QAV, the guys from Voodoo, Quads in Tampa. The 230 might scare you at first. I know I did. I got scared when I heard 230 class racing quad. You're looking at almost 250. Per se. But personally owning a QAVR and this frame as well, they actually weigh in around the 350 mark, both of them. So that brings me on to the next topic, center of gravity. You got X quads that they're bottom heavy. You got the Voodoo QAVR that they're top heavy. This center of gravity is immaculate. The battery, no matter whether you put it this way or put the battery laying down, my setup is it's pretty much simple. I have the battery sitting this way, and I bring this battery strap around, and we're pretty much in business. So the battery sits in the fuselage, and then the strap would pretty much bring it down a little bit. So I can't emphasize how much detail they put it into this frame right here. With the center of gravity, you're not looking at no top wobbly, no lag on the bottom, no lag on the top. With the battery on the top, on acro or just racing or turns, you'll be top heavy, so it'll, just how they took their time in designing this frame was just great. So after center of gravity, another thing that got my attention was pretty much the separation of the VTX antenna and the actual receiver. My setup, you might see it as a couple, it's a little wobbly right here, but my setup is pretty much this. I got my VTX right here, and we got a coaxial extender with a right angle right here, so it doesn't interfere with this bottom plate, and my satellite right here. So we got a big separation. We're looking at RX antennas right here, and then your VTX antenna all the way back here. So there's a huge separation of 5.8 and 2.4. Pretty much, they're pretty far away on the FR spectrum, but I really like that. I've never had any brownouts or lost signal with this quad. Another thing that I like about it is, and you can set this up any way that you want it. And some people might call me brave for doing this setup, but I did this setup for one reason, and the reason is that I have this. You see this Velcro right here. I have this where I can practice with a 600. This is a 600 Foxeer VTX. OAS Hobbies also carries these VTXs, but I can also interchange this VTX to a 200 when I'm gonna go race. So OAS has 200 and 600 VTXs from Foxeer. So little Velcro on the back of your VTX, and it's just pretty much a plug and play. You take off your 600, you plug in your 200, and plug in the connector, and you're ready to race. And when you're by yourself and you want to push your limits, you can pop the 600 back on. So besides interchangeable VTXs, like I showed you, this also gives you an opportunity for binding. I use Spectrum, so it gives me an opportunity if I go to a new field that I've never been to before, I can actually just unplug my satellite, plug in my binding plug. And this is only if you don't have NAS Rev 6, which they don't allow the spectrum binding. But if you have an SPF3, I'm pretty sure you can just do it through the CLI command. But the easier way, I just bring my receiver around, and it's just a plug and play. So if I go to a new field, all I got to do is plug it, bind it, and it only takes maybe like 30 seconds to do that. So that's another reason why I did this setup. So that brings me on to my next topic, which is the PDB. That's pretty much my only con on this quad is the PDB, and it's not because of OAS. I wish Lumineer would have put out a PDB with a built-in filter, 12-volt filtration and 5-volt filtration, so PWM from your ESCs don't leak into the camera and the VTX. So that's pretty much my only downfall, and it's not, like I said, because of OAS Hobby. It's because of Lumineer not having the PDB with the filtration on there. So that brings me on to the low pass filter and a 5-volt provider for your flight controller. So this is pretty much how I set it up. Between these two ESCs back here, I pretty much put a 5-volt Pololu for your flight controller, and then I put a 12-volt Pololu with a low-pass filter from a Fat Shark module on there. And this is a diatone 12-volt, and then this is just a regular. And Hobby, OAS Hobbies has these in stock right now. So this is the diatone one, this is the 12 and 5. Only thing is that you'll have to get this Fat Shark low pass filter, and it pretty much just looks like this. So what you'll want to do is just take this cellophane off and take off this sticker, and you'll just desolder. It has 2 pins. You'll desolder that, and you can't go wrong on here because on this side you see that white little line, that's a negative side, so you just put that to the negative side and you're pretty much good to go. So you can either put this on the 12-volt side or the non-12-volt side, and you'll be good to go. On this Pololu specifically, the 12-volt one that OAS Hobby has, I found that it works best on the non-12-volt side, and that's where I got the less PWM lines in my video. But besides that, it's really clean. I ran my cable lead through here, and OAS Hobby also comes with a 3D printed mount, so you can actually just run your male XT60 through one of these slots, and then you can run this cable straight through the back, and then it'll come out through the 3D printed, and it'll just connect down here. So I did this for cleanness. So and then you might just see a lot of cables, and that's just the camera, power, and things like that. So that's enough on that. So this, like I said, this is a very clean build. Once you pretty much just configure this all up in here, there's no hump in here or nothing. Everything is just flat, and there's a lot, and I don't even know how I did it myself. So overall, I love this frame. And lastly, camera tilt. You have endless camera camera tilt. I mean, you know, the sky's the limit. If you want to take off looking at the sky, you can go ahead and do that. So if you can fly like this, I mean, go for it. I mean, I'm me personally. You know, me personally, that's pretty much pushing the limits for me right there. And you know, Sunny Skies is not the greatest motors. This frame definitely deserves some better motors, but I just had these laying around. So and these Sunny Skies push this frame very well. I mean, with a 4-cell 1300 battery, this frame moves like an X frame or any other, you know, racing quad frame out there that you can think of. So guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, this was my OES Hobby Wasp overview and build overview. If you have any questions about this build, or you know, have any problems, you can go ahead and leave the comment down below. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.